From Tokyo One Way, Yokoso, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about flat owners meeting in Japan. I never had experiences about flat owners meetings because in Italy I lived in a house. And here in Japan, I was always living in a rented apartment. And me and my husband, we decided to buy an apartment several years ago, after having lived in many different rented apartments. We said, more or less we are established here, so if we buy, we will go to have a loan and we will spend less than being on a rental. And here usually after 2 years you have to renew the contract, and there are always expenses to pay. So flat owners meetings, I think they different from each other in every country. In Japan, only the persons owning the flat take part to these meetings. So it means that if you have an apartment in a building and you rent it and there is a tenant living inside, when they have this kind of meetings, it's not the tenant, of course, who has to take part, but it's the owner. So while in Italy these meetings are held periodically and the flat owners take part to them, here in Japan, at least in the building where I live, they have a system in which every year 6 persons, 6 flat owners take charge of the flat owners meetings, and then these 6 persons will hold some special meetings where everyone has to attend if there are special occasion or special problems, and at the beginning and at the end of the no, sorry, not at the beginning, at the end of the 1-year term. For example, we had some special meetings when there was the big earthquake here in Japan in 2011, because the building had some damages caused by the quake. But usually special meetings are rare. So I didn't know about this habit, and each year these 6 persons change. So in this way everyone will have to take part to this meeting on rotation. Every year changes, so And when it come our turn, my husband was too busy to attend to these meetings, which are held once a month, and usually on Saturday or on Sundays, because on these days people usually do not work. So my husband works on Saturdays, and sometimes he's working also on Sundays. So he said, you have to go because I have not the time. I said, okay, shoganai. And these meetings, in these meetings, we were 6 persons, and there is also the management company, a person from the management company who takes part to these meetings. That's because the company that built the building, and the company, if I'm not mistaken, the company who sold the apartments, they are all a group, and they take care of the of many things, and we also have a janitor. And for example, they keep updated the janitor regarding the for example, when you have to do the periodic check of the elevator, or you have to clean the water tank, or there are the parking lot inspections, etc., etc. So part of the job is already done by this management company and the janitor. And also when there are extra things to do, they prepare an estimate of the cost. For example, if something gets broken, or if there are some unexpected expenses, etc. Because as I told you, the company who sold the apartment, the company who built the house, they are all this kind of group, etc. So they suggest companies they know, or there are part of their groups, or that have taken part in the construction of the building. These 6 persons have different functions. There is the president, vice president, the person in charge of controlling the finances, the reports that come every month about in and outs of money, and one of the petit cash, I think, and the other one I don't remember, I'm sorry. Anyhow, when of course there are some which are more binding, respect other positions, and of course the most binding one is and time consuming is being the president, because that is he is the person who is going to write down everything that has happened, make a relation, and then the president, vice president, and the person who is in charge of controlling the accountanship, they have to put their seal on this kind of document, and yeah, they are mostly in charge. So when nobody wants to do that, of course, and so you have to go, because this is the rule. When it comes to on this rotation chart, that's your year of duty. You have to go. They decided to decide who was going to cover a position by a Japanese game, and I didn't know this game, and at the end it resulted that I was the president. Then I said, look, really, I'm not Japanese. I have to write all these reports, and they will be written in a Japanese, written by a foreigner, and it's very time consuming for me, and I don't want to have this responsibility. So they were a little bit upset, and they said, okay, we do it again, but this time they write each position on a piece of paper, and then you had to draw a piece of paper and see what you were in charge of. Sorry, piano non si fa. Sorry, the dog. And this time I was vice president. Now I can't say again, no, I don't want to do it. So I accepted it, and we started our duty. I should say that I was probably the most noisy and inappropriate person in the group, because every time I had something to say. That's because, for example, once the management company's person said, there is this expense, and I have here the estimate, but because there is electrical leakage at the entrance, because the electrical wires runs too close to the water pipes, and everybody said okay, and I said no. Why should we pay for these repairs when this is clearly a mistake made by the company who constructed the building? You don't put electrical wires next to the water pipes, and then of course this problem will come out. And that time the company made the repairs on its own expenses. If I was not there saying these things, all of us would have paid for the repairs. So I was also a little bit concerned, because that year I was in this kind of flat owners meetings, but other times there are persons who maybe they say like they did, yes, okay, they don't say anything, and it's also my money they are using. So if you have to do these things once every 30 years, do it in a wise way. It's also your money. And so there were many times that we had some problems, and I said, no, look, this is too much, or look, ask another company, or for an estimate, and so and so. So I was very well known, especially for by the management company person who always, when he saw me, was like, no. And then we had it was presented to us a problem by many flat owners, which was that we do not have enough space to place the bicycles. And so there were some flat owners that they had the place to put the bicycles, while others they didn't have the place. And also here in Japan we use the bicycle a lot, and so there are also at the beginning when we bought the apartment there were very few children. Then these children get older, and newborns came, and of course they need a bicycle. So we tried our best to find a way to enlarge the bicycle parking, but there was no way. So at the end of the year we had to make this meeting where every flat owners take part, and we had to explain what we have done during the year, and explain also the balance sheet, etc., etc. And fortunately, regarding the balance sheet, there was the person in charge of the accountancy, and then there was the president who was doing most of the talking. We were sitting, all 6 of us, plus the management company person, in front of all the other persons who live in this building. And at a certain point there was a lady who said, what about the parking lot for the bicycle? You have, and then she said, you didn't do nothing. Now the next 6 person they will have this problem. What did you do in this year, and all this stuff. And the president, who was sitting next to me, he just said, yes, we are very sorry, but there was nothing we could do. And this lady was protesting a lot. So I just put my hand on the president, on his arm, just to make him stop speaking, and I started speaking. That is a thing that you don't do. It's not polite, but it came out from me, my Italian part, I think, my gaijin part, my foreign attitude. And I said to this person, look, we have done our best. We spent a lot of time considering what to do. There are government rules, there are rules from the prefectures, there are rules from the world that make for us impossible to change the layout of the building, because we thought that maybe we could have used one parking place for the cars, but it was not possible. Then we thought to take some place from the garden and use it for the bicycle, and it was not possible, because in Japan you have to respect for every building has determined green area that must be respected. And then at the end she said, "Oh, okay, I understood, okay." And then the president continued in the speaking, and after that I was very anxious, because I didn't respect the hierarchy, and I spoke out my mind freely, which is not the case here in Japan, and I made troubles. So that was our last day, and they said, the 6 of us, the other 5 persons, they said, we are going to have a dinner all together, just to say goodbye, just to party, we have finished our duty. I said, okay. The day I had to go to this party, I was so nervous, because I said, oh, now what are they going to tell me? Or what if I'm going there and nobody will speak to me? I went to this party and I had the most unexpected reaction I ever had here in Japan. When they saw me, they all said, "Hey, Claudia, you are our hero. Thank you so much for speaking up." And they all cheered me up. And I said, "No, that's impossible." And I also thought, why didn't you do this? Why didn't the president explain? Why say yes? We failed to do something if we have done everything possible and we discovered there was nothing we could do. Yes, it's true, we have failed, but it was not our fault. There are rules to be respected, so it was impossible to do anything about it. Anyhow, that time I was really surprised and surprised in a great way, because I never thought that my behavior would have been not only accepted but secretly cheered and appreciated. Hope you liked the video, and if you did, please give it a thumb up. Hope to see you again on my channel. If you want to be updated on new videos coming up, please subscribe, and for those who don't know it, if you click on the bell, an email will be sent to you every time a new video is uploaded. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a very great day. Bye.